Today we're hanging out with our good friend Mike McDonald. Mike is an ACA Level 5 Advanced Open Water Instructor and Guide, as well as a trained wilderness first responder. He's going to walk us through the fine art of packing a kayak.
What we're going to do is go on a solo kayak trip for 4 days and 3 nights. And we're going to pack about 75 pounds worth of gear, camping gear and food and other miscellaneous supplies into this 16-foot long Romani sea kayak. There's 3 hatches, the bow hatch, the stern hatch, and a day hatch. And the whole concept about packing a sea kayak is you want to keep as much weight as possible towards the center of the kayak and put the lighter stuff out near the ends for stability. I personally like to keep things off the deck to keep my windage low, exposure to the wind low. And ready to go? Sure. Okay. Well, the other part of the concept, aside from the weight, is that when you're kayak camping, it's quite a bit different from canoe camping in the sense that you want to think like I try to think like an ultralight backpacker. And for example, this is my sleeping pad, ultralight and compact, and this is my pillow. All right, so first thing I like to do is just separate the stuff out that I'm going to be wearing, and I put that in the cockpit. Spray skirt, booties, PFD with all the appropriate gear on it. Especially if you're going solo, you want to make sure you have all the right safety gear. The second thing I do is I have a dry bag here, and it's got my, if it's cold weather camping, I've got my coat and my toque, as we say in Canada, and my gloves. And I shove that behind my seat. Just rest on that. Next thing I generally pack is my day hatch. And this is the stuff that goes in my day hatch. And this is my flare box for signaling. And I generally put 1 or 2 flares in my PFD as well. There we go. These are spare hatch covers. And of course, mosquito repellent, sunscreen. And if you're going into bear country, bear spray. Spare batteries for my VHF radio and my headlamps and anything else that needs batteries. My bug net. This is my storm keg, also doubles as a raincoat. And it's basically just a big keg you put on. It's a full head covering, body covering, and it'll go around the spray deck as well if you're out in stormy weather. And this is my water purifier. That's just a big bag. Drag it through fresh water. Of course, if you're going in saltwater environment, you need a little different stuff. Primarily, you probably want to take a bladder, fill up that bladder with water, and then that would be the only thing I'd have in my cockpit between my legs. I don't like to have anything else in my cockpit to interfere with my legs. Toiletry bag and my pack towel. And then as a wilderness first responder, I always take my EpiPens in case there's some kind of allergic reaction. I have something that goes in there. These are all things that I generally want to get to fairly quickly. I take 2 liters of water, have access to those. And then this is my bag of protein bars, electrolytes, energy gels, snack stuff. I want to have access to that when I'm out on the water. So I put that in there. The other thing that should go in your day hatch is your repair kit. So you have quick access to that in case your you need to patch something. And, unless I've forgotten something, next up, I generally pack the bow hatch, and I try to break the gear down into small bags, as you can see. So these are my tent poles and tent pegs, and I'm going to shove them as far up in the bow as possible. You got to make use of every inch of space that you've got. My little blow-up pillow. One little trick that might help you is if you, when you put it in, put the drawstring hanging out this way. Sometimes they get stuck up in there. Pull on the drawstring to get it out. See if we can get this in there too. Tent that way. Sleeping bag, that's a fairly heavy item even though it's compact, so that can go towards the cockpit. Shelter, that's a little two-man shelter. Nice to have when it's raining, so you don't get stuck in your tent. Camp gear and camp clothes. One thing you want to remember if you have a deck compass is you don't want to put anything that's metal anywhere around your deck compass, or you could end up going in circles. This is just a bag of bags. So there's an extra couple of dry bags in here. One of them I use for garbage when I'm out because we practice leave no trace. So anything we can't consume, we pack it out. So we're getting down to a few things, mostly food. When it comes to food, I like to take as much fresh as possible, so I've got some fruits and vegetables here, and I always use a mesh bag for these, because if you put them in a bag and close them up, they're going to perish a lot quicker than if you have them exposed like this. The other thing is they're going to be in the back hatch, and they're going to be basically in the water, so if the water is cold, it'll help keep them fresh longer. Now, my kayak doesn't have a skeg, but if you have a skeg, then you've got a skeg box in there that's going to take up some room, and these items are nice to shove in around the skeg box. Some people would say my first aid kit's a little large, but you can take whatever size first aid kit you feel is adequate for you. And I mark my two main food bags, dinner and breakfast and lunch. And again, dinner is all dehydrated meals, and breakfast and lunch is all fresh stuff, tortilla wraps and cheese and good things like that. I always take 2 stoves, 2 cans of fuel for the main stove, and then the spare stove just in case the main one breaks down. That's the spare stove is just a little pocket rocket. And then looks like one last bag, and we're pretty much there. Oh, the last thing before you close up your hatch, put all your gear in, you want to make sure you have your camp shoes in your boat. Put your chart on your deck. Don't forget your paddles. Always take a spare. Put your duds on, you're ready to go.